As a dog trainer, in my opinion, one of the things we should be working on the absolute hardest to achieve is being able to let our dogs off lead with the most reliability we can, let them off lead safely to give them the opportunity to be a dog, to satisfy those natural urges to roam and explore and wander and just use their natural curiosity. Now, as we know, Rosie, hi girl, is a bit of a nerve bag, bit of a flight risk, so this is going to be a big thing for her if we can get her to be confident off lead. But how do we test if our dog is actually good enough at that recall to be trusted with it? So if we're going to let them off, we want to know they're going to come back. How do we be sure? So I like to use the 7-7-7 principle. This is something I came up with as a way of proofing our dog's recall. So if you're still practicing it, keep practicing, of course. But one of the things that we want to work on is proofing that recall. So what we do is we take our dog off and about on a flexi or a long line, just attached to them. And if at any point we have to use the lead to enforce a recall, then we start again. So the 7-7-7, 7 days, 7 places, 7 recalls. You've got to go to 7 different places, 7 different days, and you've got to get 7 recalls in a row without ever having to interrupt. If you have to interrupt the dog at any point after they ignore a recall, then we start again tomorrow on day 1. And until you get 7 in a row, it's not good enough because you've had to interrupt. So what would have happened if you didn't interrupt? Would they have run out into a road? Would they have run up to an unfriendly dog? Would they have got themselves harmed in some way? Most people skip all of the proofing stage and just let the dog go and see what happens. And of course, you're putting your dog at risk when you do that, and that's not something we ever really should be doing. So what I'm going to do with Rosie is start teaching her that when I say Rosie come, I want her to come to me. Not really something we've worked on massively yet. I've just been trying to give her as much freedom as possible, but Rosie come, good. No interruption, good girl. Rosie gets rewarded. Rosie gets left to do whatever Rosie wants to go do. Hey. Now, obviously, she is a very nervy dog. We know this about Rosie. Rosie, come. Yeah, good. So she is a little bit hesitant to drift too far from me. We've built a nice relationship. Good girl. She's took a little while to become very trusting, but we're getting there and it's nice. But at the end of the day, my job is to make sure she's as safe as possible while making her feel as fulfilled as possible. So I'm going to do as much as I can over the coming days and weeks with her to give her as much freedom as possible. There's only so much can be achieved with heel, with loose lead walking, with obedience. Especially when you're dealing with a reactive dog, a nervous dog, a fearful dog, a dog who is figuring the world out. We've got to give them the opportunities to figure the world out. So what's that 7-7-7 going to do for us? Well, the more that we can trust that they'll come back, this Flexi's seen better days, the more we can trust that they'll come back, the more freedom they get. The more freedom they get, the less behavioural problems we'll see. It's so easy to micromanage our dogs, make sure that, they're listening to every command we say and telling them, no, do this, do that, breathe in, breathe out. And it just doesn't work. It's very hard to convince our dog not to misbehave when they're sitting on all this pent-up energy and not able to explore and express their natural urges and instincts and curiosities. Dogs are a curious animal. We're a curious animal, but dogs are a very curious species. It's something we love about them. Rosie, come. Good. Something we love about them, but it's suppressed in pet dogs these days. More and more and more. It's getting harder and harder to be a dog in this world. There's more traffic, there's more dogs, there's more health and safety issues, there's more risk, more danger. Rosie, come. Good. There's more reasons why dogs can't be dogs, and we're asking them to be pets first, dogs second. So, 7-7-7. 7 days, 7 different places, that's important, 7 recalls. Why 7 different places? Well, recall is a very important behaviour, and we want to know it works around as many different distractions as possible before we free them from that lead and give them proper free time and free space. If we only practice it in one place, so like I'm here in a tennis court, the doors are shut, it's pretty safe, I could probably let her off here and still be, she's still safe. But if we only ever practice it here, eventually she'll have a brilliant recall here, but not on a grass field or on a beach or in a place where there's other dogs or in whatever other environment. Generalizing a skill requires doing it in multiple different places. Practicing in those different places gives us a good range of, well, what makes her recall fail? Is it squirrels? Is it cats? Is it people? Is it dogs? Is it cars? Is it scooters? Is it whatever? And whenever we get a positive, like a positive test, and when I say positive, I mean a failed test. It went wrong. Right. What went wrong? Now I know what I need to work around. If I need to work around people, well, great, we'll go to places where there's people. If I need to work more around dogs, great, we'll go to places where there's dogs. If I need to work around highly scented areas, well, great, we'll go to them and we'll practice in those places before we re-begin that 7-7-7 process. But now we've got some proof. So my border collie Albus, his thing, quite unsurprisingly, where he failed for the first time was footballs. He went full border collie, and it just wasn't my dog anymore. He was a flat out sheepdog. He didn't listen. His head was completely gone. Okay, great. I got my lad and his cousin, and we took them to the park, and they played football for a bit while I practiced around that football being moved around until he was a little bit more normalised to it. Rosie, come. And his recall worked around them before we re-began that 7. And the next time we were out in the world and we saw a kids football match being played, I said Albus to me, which is his recall, and to me he came. Cool, right, now I know he's starting to become trustworthy around footballs. And we then continue along that process until we're like, right, we have done 7 days in a row without any failed recalls where I've had to intervene with the lead. We can then start to graduate off that lead, keeping ourselves in the right environment, making sure we're not just throwing them in at the deep end, and still putting them on lead when it's just the courteous thing to do. If there's a load of other dogs, if I see someone with a nervous dog, if there's kids about, it's probably just a good idea to stick your dog on a lead anyway, just until the environment's a bit clearer, even if they are under impeccable verbal control. But for Rosie, it's even more important because she is such a nervous dog. Come, good. As you can see, she's very nervous. She's got a lot going on. She's had a lot of things to deal with in life. You can tell by her body language that just being outdoors for her is quite an overwhelming thing. But the more I can let her explore the world and just absorb it and take it in without being like, right, you've got to walk next to me, you've got to sit, you've got to stay, the easier life becomes for Rosie. So if you need help practicing that recall, obviously you're gonna have to figure that out. Oh, girl, it's okay. You're gonna have to figure out like how to do that. So that'll be explained in another video. But as far as what have you seen? What have you heard? As far as proofing it goes, this is how we do it. So 7 days, 7 recalls in 7 different places, and if any of them fail, no problem. That's a good sign, because it shows us where we need to work, it shows us where we need to improve. And until you get that 7 in a row, don't worry about it. Don't worry about letting them off. Just make sure that you don't have to intervene with that lead anymore. Anytime you hear that, or anytime you have to pull on the long line, we just start again tomorrow. It's not a bad thing. Don't get frustrated. Don't rush this. It's a proofing stage for a reason. And what you want to do, what you want is the information on where does this fail. We want to know why and when does my dog's recall fail. And if that is around whatever trigger it may be, cool. We now know where we need to practice. We need to practice the weak points in our recall, not the strong points. We need to find out where does this thing derail, and then go and work around those distractions. As always, if you need any help with any of this, fire us a message. We'd be happy to have a chat with you.